Tonya Khoury. Today's a heavy one. This is Tonya's Takeout, and it's focusing on Israel versus Palestine, about our last piece called From Scratch to Surface, called Pick a Side. Now, social media is full of it. It's asking you to pick a side between Israel and Palestine. People are carrying hashtags like I pray for Palestine, I pray for Israel, or I stand with Palestine, I stand with Israel. And we're encouraged to do that. And this is not a football game. You don't get to pick sides. And I hope that today we're going to learn a little bit more using the Acumen system to take a deep dive into what's really going on in the ground between Israel and Palestine. The one thing I've noticed, which is unprecedented, is the level of misinformation. I've literally seen posts, one after another, one saying Israel committed this atrocity, the same image, the same video, somebody else saying Palestine committed this atrocity or Hamas committed this atrocity, and then only to find that that particular video was either not even from the region or was computer generated. And this is what we're going through. There is a war on the ground in Israel between Israel and Palestine, and there is a war in social media that we are all fighting. I urge you to go through the social media journey with a large dose of cynicism and check yourself before you post, because what we're actually looking at right now is a potential genocide. Let's have a look at the Acumen system and what it has to say about this story. Almost 370,000 unique mentions of this war in South African media alone. That is enormous. An engagement of 497,000, almost 500,000 people clicking, sharing, liking, commenting, making their own assessment of what's going on the ground in Israel and Palestine. If we have a look at the timeline, you'll see that there's dips and valleys as the story has grown over the week. First, we started with the paragliders coming in and that massacre at the musical festival, and also those same paragliders being able to circumvent Israel's Iron Dome, which is just extraordinary. The other thing people question in a lot is, why is it that Israel didn't know? They've got the highest intelligence and security in the world. How did they not know? If we have a look at these peaks and valleys, we can click on any one of them. Let's just pick on this one. This is the 9th of October. We just scroll down. So welcome to Blue Silk. Blue Silk is the new AI insight tool that is with our Acumen Media service. And what it does, it summarizes what happened on that day. You can see there's 4,000 results that we're looking at in one day. Now, it's almost impossible to read all of that, but the system reads it for us and starts making its own summaries about what happened on that day. So it's very clear about the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. And then also it highlights how one particular tweet was very popular and showed the disproportionate use of force by Israel against Palestinians. There's also pictures of Hamas fighters shooting down a war helicopter in Gaza. That's since been debunked. I think they said that that was a video game. You can't make head or tail of what's true and what isn't. All I know is that within Gaza itself, there are at least 500,000 people that are facing nowhere to stay, nowhere to live, nowhere to eat, nothing to drink. It may even be as many as 2 million. So there is a humanitarian crisis on the ground, which brings me to show you this video.
We are now on day 4 of the attacks on Gaza. So this is my day 4 update. Essentially, everyone has been displaced from their homes. The bombings are everywhere, so people are fleeing from one place to another. There are currently so many people on the streets unhoused because there is nowhere safe. At this point, if you're someone from Gaza, then you or someone you know or someone in your family has probably been impacted somehow. We are in a huge humanitarian crisis. Israel has cut off electricity. They have cut off water entirely. They are also not allowing any food inside Gaza. Israel has also bombed the only passageway between us and the outside world, which is the Rafah border between Gaza and Egypt. They bombed it and now the border is closed. Israel is not allowing any aid into Gaza. They are not allowing any food. They are not allowing any supplies. The hospitals are way past capacity. There are not enough nurses, not enough doctors, not enough beds. One of my friend's sisters got stitched up in her head. You don't even have time to do any recovery in the hospital. You get stitched, you're sent home once you're awake. Israel is dropping white phosphorus bombs, which, by the way, were also used in Ukraine. But I guess no one speaks out when they're used on Gaza, on Palestinians. We have passed the point of arguing about who's morally correct or who's not and what is this about, etc. At this point, I really don't care. I really don't care what the media says. I couldn't care less about how ignorant some of you are. This is a humanitarian crisis, and this is a genocide. And worst of all, there is no one helping people in Gaza. There is no country standing up for us.
Pretty heavy stuff, eh? And it's all true. That's been confirmed, what she's just said. That is actually the truth. We're looking at 2 million people that might just be facing a genocide. Let's have a look at what the system has to say about the sentiment and how people feel, particularly about Benjamin Netanyahu. Out of the 370,000 results, almost 70% of them are negative, creating a net sentiment of minus 87.5%. Everybody is unhappy about this situation. There's nobody praising this situation. As we look down, you can see when those red peaks come through on the data, and it's every time something happens on the ground, a massive set of negativity explodes onto our timelines. These are the big hashtags that come out of the system over a 7-day period. And you can see that Gaza, Israel, Hamas, and Palestine make one of the biggest impacts on those hashtags. In fact, Gaza under attack also making a large impact, 6,600 results carrying that particular hashtag. It's easier for us to drill down and understand what's behind that hashtag. So if we just click on Gaza under attack, you'll be able to see exactly what is said about Gaza under attack, when it was said, what the overall themes were, what the top post says, and the first time the hashtag was used, and then what came afterwards. And there's just reams and reams and reams of it. Social media certainly engaged and certainly not happy. Let's have a quick look at the other themes that come out when we have a look at the big words. Biggest words coming out there is Israel, Hamas. And also on the left-hand side, you can see a lot of children being killed, innocent people, genocide, murdered, bombing, women, hostages, all the bad stuff that's been coming out of the story, all the real focus of social media this week. Here's the thing. This war, sadly, is necessary. It was always going to happen. This is not the first time, but it may well be the last time. Pray that we are not facing a genocide, good people. Pray for civilians and don't pick a side. There's no need. These are humans. Humans that are dying, women, children, babies, fighters, strugglers. This is a human story, and it's got a lot more to do with your hashtag and slacktivism. Carrying that hashtag or putting up a flag certainly doesn't help any one of those kids on the ground that are literally facing a war zone. I'm Tonya Khoury. Take it easy out there. Try and stay away from the media. I certainly am. Thanks for scratching the surface with me.